Alright people, welcome to CG Reaction, and this is 21 things in the US that puzzles most foreigners by the channel Bright Side. When you live in a country for many years, everything looks ordinary and familiar, but an outsider will always spot some cutest quirks in your customs and behaviors that makes them think, what's going on here? Life in the US can puzzle newcomers in many ways, from buying food and magazines in a pharmacy to deep frying almost anything. Yeah, that is true, man. Deep frying things in US, that is just puzzling. That in US everybody just deep fries everything. I mean, how do they not have cholesterol issues is beyond me. Sugar. There is lots of sugary things in there. Lots of sugary things. There is entire, I think, Hershey store and entire stores of one simple things. There should be just a shelf in some kind of a shop, but they have entire shops of that thing. So that is something. And even breads. I have some of my friends there in the US that told me almost every bread is sweetened. And so some things are really weird to see. Especially about I heard somebody saying that there's an entire sections in the malls and everywhere, entire sections of Coca-Colas and carbonated drinks like that, entire section of it, not just one part, entire sections. I mean, that's way too much sugary drinks, man. Alright, let's watch the video.
Well, you may have lived in the United States your whole life without realizing that something totally normal for you seems bizarre to people from other parts of the world. Who knew that munching on fried pickles in a highly air-conditioned room was so outlandish? Well, here are some other highly entertaining Americanisms I've gathered. Let's count it down from number 21. Sales tax is a guessing game. When you go shopping in the U.S. and see a price tag that says $14.88, don't expect to pay $14.88 at the register. Sales tax is not included in the price of an item. And since this tax can vary from state to state, figuring out your total can turn into the ultimate mental math.
That is weird and confusing, man. Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, obviously every state has a different tax, but that's not even the point. Nowadays it's fine because since computers do most of the work. But before computers, the store clerks and those people calculate taxes. So, and obviously you can't trust them. What if they got wrong? So you have to calculate taxes too. So every time you buy any small thing here and there, you have to do maths. I mean, what's the point of that? Why not just put maximum retail price? In India we have here the MRP. I'm pretty sure most of Europe has that kind of system. It's inclusive of tax. You're going to pay tax. It's not optional. So why not just put it inside the actual price? Why keep it separate? That doesn't make sense to me.
Challenge. In many European countries, the sales tax is already included in the price. It's known as a value-added tax, or VAT. Number 20. We're total workaholics. A lot of Americans don't feel the need to take long vacations, so they often let vacation and sick hours pile up without ever using them. Plus, most employers only give you 2 weeks out of the year. But in a lot of other countries, like Brazil or Finland, workers are encouraged to take an average of 30 days of vacay. Wow, maybe I should take some time off. Or
yeah, USA is the capitalist country of the world. Capitalism at the highest. Work sets you free. Work is the best thing. So that kind of mentality. Work is above everything. So most people don't even take vacations, and I'm pretty sure that causes lots of psychological issues too. That's why I think in US lots of people go to shrinks more than any other country. I'm pretty sure of that. But it's the capitalist mentality, like do work and you can be successful. Everything else doesn't matter.
perhaps I'll just keep waiting. 19. It's not a party without red Solo cups. In the States, this red plastic cup is synonymous with "party on, dude." But other countries apparently don't recognize this cup to mean the same thing. People in the UK, for example, don't use red Solo cups at get-togethers. They have to go to...
But why do it have to be that particular cup? Why is there no diversity of cups? Like certain areas use a different cup, other areas use a different cup. Why that particular cup? Is there some kind of standard like you must use this cup or something?
To a special website to purchase the cups for American themed parties. Who knew? Number 18. Deep fried everything. Whether it's fried pickles or even fried Oreos, America
damn.
has it all. Fried fish recipes first appeared in Spanish and Portuguese cookbooks as far back as the 1200s, and the
Yeah, that's all fine and true. Or like pickle, even I can understand pickle. Why would you deep fry Oreos? What's the point of that? Does that even taste better? I'm gonna try it one day.
Greeks were frying food in olive oil way back in the 5th century BCE. But as America does with many things, they've adopted a tradition from far-off lands and took it up a notch, or 5. 17. Get everything.
I know USA has lots of obesity issues, sure, but do they have heart attack issues because of high cholesterol or something? Because they deep fry everything? I don't know about that.
Thing you need right at the pharmacy. If you're not from the US, it may be puzzling to walk into a pharmacy and see aisles and aisles of over-the-counter meds, toys, makeup, clothes, and even groceries.
What?
Unlike in other countries where
What? In pharmacy? Toys, groceries? It's a pharmacy. You're supposed to take medicinal things there. Since when pharmacy is a general store?
pharmacies sell medicine and medical supplies exclusively. The ones in the US are like small convenience stores where you can grab magazines, Tylenol, and a frozen pizza in one fell swoop. 16.
They are not really pharmacies, they are general stores.
Fill her up. In America, if a restaurant doesn't offer free refills on fountain drinks, it's kind of strange. But in other countries, once you buy one beverage, that's it. France banned refills on sugary sodas back in 2017 in order to combat the current obesity epidemic. But in the US, the idea of free refills is still alive and well. 15. If you don't like it, return it. Whether it's an ugly sweater from grandma or a heinous pair of earrings from an ex, if you don't like it, you can just return it. In America, making returns at stores is pretty normal and super easy. I mean, the US even has a National Returns Day in January.
That makes sense. Like I said, capitalist America, capitalism at the highest. It's all business. If you return it, keeping you happy is the most important job, since you are, more, you're going to buy more after that if you're happy. So keeping customers happy. So if they want to return it, fine. Maybe they'll exchange it for something else. Maybe they'll come back in the future. It's all logistics, to increase the purchase. It's just all business. That makes sense. It's not so weird to me because I order most things, probably 90-95% of things from Amazon. Amazon is an American company, so in here it's like even they take returns. So I do have options of returning lots of things, and I do. Sometimes some things I don't like, I return it.
Conveniently help for you to return holiday gifts you weren't too thrilled about. 14. Tips for everyone. Cab drivers, servers, hairdressers, you gotta tip them. Tips are acceptable for almost any service in the US and sometimes consist of 25% of the bill. We haven't started tipping surgeons yet, but there are places in other parts of the world.
Surgeons, they make a ridiculous amount of money. They're not gonna need tips, man. Come on.
Such as Japan, that consider tipping incredibly rude, like in restaurants. When you travel to different countries,
yeah, okay, Japan, if you know about the history of Japan, feudal Japan and things like that, you know that their mentality is centered more towards honor, and they might feel like if somebody is offering you tip, that hurts their honor somehow. But it's not, it's just supporting system. In the US, I heard, I think, was it John Oliver's show last week tonight. In that I saw how, even in the minimum wage, people can barely make their rent. And at that kind of time, you need people to pay some kind of tips here and there. Otherwise, how are people going to survive? So yeah, tips is, in that sense, is kind of good, man. Lots of people are surviving on tips.
it's important to learn their tipping etiquette so that you don't offend anyone. 13. I'll take my coffee to go. With a Starbucks on every corner, It's very normal to see people toting around a coffee as they shop, commute to work, and whatever else at all times of the day. But in many parts of the world, coffee is meant to be sipped on while seated and enjoying the paper or chatting with friends. Tugging your coffee along with you throughout the day might be due to the fact that the cups are huge and take longer to drink. Who's got that kind of time to be sitting in a cafe for hours?
All right. I think most busy areas of cities, most busy cities probably do drink like that, walking and drinking coffee since they're so busy. Only some places where it's not so busy, so commerce is not that busy. Yeah, people sit in cafes and drink coffee, but most of the cities around the world, whether it's Europe, even in India, lots of places, people do drink coffees in while walking. It's not so surprising.
Sounds like fun to me. Number 12. The land of ice-cold drinks. Now, speaking of drinks, if it's not a hot coffee or cocoa, then it's probably got ice in it. Tea, coffee, lemonade, soda, water. Americans like it on the rocks. If you go elsewhere in the world, odds are you'll be sipping your soda at room temperature, or maybe slightly refrigerated if you don't specifically ask for ice. Number 11.
Yes. I don't know. All right, look. Ice with Coca-Cola and things like that, Coke and things like that, it's just, yeah, it's watered down, man. I don't like it. I don't know why would you put ice on the sugary drinks like that. Alcohol makes sense, but other things, no.
Keeping the AC on at all times. Americans must have an aversion to being hot. In many parts of Europe, people simply don't use air conditioning as much as they do in the States. Here, it's expected to always have the AC blaring, and a lot of visitors find it pretty strange and quite chilly. But come on, it makes sense. If you're cold, you can layer up. If you're hot, all you can do is suffer and complain about it. Number 10. Looking at dollars is a snooze fest. I remember going to Europe for the first time and thinking their banknotes looked like Monopoly money. And I guess a lot of countries have bills of different colors and sizes depending on the value, like Swedish krona and Russian rubles. But not in the US. It's all greenbacks, baby. Sure, 10s look a little yellowy, 50s are kind of pinkish, and Benjamins seem bluer than the others.
Yeah, but it has become iconic, isn't it? Green is the cash. Where is that came from? From dollars. Even in my country, all the monies are different colors.
But still, US dollars definitely aren't as fun and rainbowy as other currencies. Number 9. Giving a thumbs up. In America, even little kids know a thumbs up means good job, way to go, or anything positive like that. But if you travel to Greece or the Middle East and give this common American gesture, you probably won't make too many friends. Hey, how about giving this video a thumbs up for the
Why
useful
not?
tip? Number 8. The date writing conundrum. So many visitors to the U.S. get really confused by the month-day-year thing, because most parts...
I don't understand. What's the point of this? This is confusing. Why month first, not date? Of all these three, smallest one is the date. If you combine 30 days, you get 1 month. If you combine 12 months, you get 1 year. So why is not in that order? Why month first, then date, and then year? It doesn't make sense.
To the world, write the day, then the month, then finally the year. There's no clear historical reason why the U.S. insists on writing the day differently, but we just do. Number 7. Pre-baby baby showers. Many cultures celebrate a new baby coming into the world, but America is one of the few places that does this before the baby actually gets here. In East Asian countries, for instance, celebrations for a new baby are held once the baby is born, as doing otherwise is seen as bad luck. Number 6.
In here too is before the baby comes. It's same as US.
How are you means hello. Sure, people ask each other how they're doing in other countries, but Americans often use this phrase as a replacement for hey or hello. It doesn't even require a real response. People just answer with fine thanks, even if they're in a horrible mood or had a terrible day. Number 5.
Come on, man. That's just formality. That's everywhere, even in here. That's like, how are you? Like, it's just, man, I was just being nice. That kind of mentality. So it's just formality. How are you? The next person says I'm fine. They're not gonna share their details about things. So in that sense, it's everywhere. Even in here, obviously it's in native language, not in English. But even people go like that. How are you? I'm fine. It doesn't matter if that person is fine or not, or the person who's asking is basically just saying hello. He doesn't care if you're good or not. Just saying hello. That's everywhere, not in just US.
Bathroom stalls that aren't so private. Don't like doing your business in front of complete strangers? Americans don't either, of course, but the fact that bathroom stall doors often reveal as much as your entire lower leg seems to say otherwise. There's no clear reason as to why there's this big gap in public.
It's not just that. See here, it's a gap, and I read about this somewhere, where gaps at the hinges and at the end of both sides. There are some places where it's good enough gap that people who are walking can easily see you inside. I mean, that's really effed up design, man. Why keep that much gap? You could narrow it down a bit. And lakeside, I don't know, it could be some safety reasons, or maybe it's to see if it's occupied or not, who knows.
Public bathroom stalls here, but many guess it's for safety reasons or ventilation. Just saying. Number 4. No one uses their inside voice. A lot of my friends who are visiting or moved to the U.S. tell me that locals speak so loud compared to other countries. Whether it's talking on your cell phone or chatting with a friend over lunch, Americans seem to really like projecting their voice. I don't know. Maybe we just want to make sure we're heard.
How do you know they don't use their inside voice? You wouldn't know if they're using their inside voice. And loud is just a thing, man. Who knows? Have you been in all US states? Because I'm pretty sure diversity is really wide. A New Yorker is completely different than a person who's living in Los Angeles or something. So it's diverse. I know what you mean by loud. Maybe if you're in busy place, the mentality is different. Maybe if you're in some kind of southern states, the mentality is different.
Number 3. It's all about choices. Walk into any grocery store aisle and you'll notice at least 10 different options for cookies, crackers, or cereal. People in the UK don't have these.
Again, like I said, capitalist America. The capitalism at the highest. The more choices you have, the more people are going to buy. It's all about business and making money, which kind of makes sense in most cases.
There's many options for food, and you'll almost never find anything in grape flavor there.
Why not?
Number 2. Hopping into the back seat of a cab. When getting into a cab, it's customary in the States to scoot on into the back seat. But in countries like New Zealand and Australia, riding anywhere but shotgun can be a little rude.
Rude? Man, this is your job. You're a professional. A person shouldn't supposed to sit beside you. What are you gonna have a conversation like your friends? You're not a friend. Sitting in the backside is more professional. Why would you ride shotgun?
Number 1. That classic American smile. In the U.S., people aren't afraid to be nice and show their pearly whites all the time. And according to a 2015 study at Brown University, because America has always been a very diverse country, it forced people to smile at each other more since they couldn't always communicate with language. That's just one more historical theory as to why Americans tend to smile more than people in other places do. Or maybe we're just, friendlier.
I know he didn't meant it like that, but the way he said, he forced people to. It's like they don't want to be nice, but the diversity forces people to be nice.
Whether you're from the U.S. or not, can you add any more strange Americanisms to the list? Let me know down in the comments. I
don't know about Americanism, but here in India, people, obviously don't, walk around in their houses with, boots and shoes or whatever. I know in America people do. I don't know if other countries does that too, or it's just in India it's weird. I don't know, but that's one of the things. And I don't know, I don't have OCD, maybe some level, I don't know, but I don't imagine, doesn't matter how clean streets you have, walking outside with your boots and walking inside with the same boots in your house, doesn't make sense. It's just, to me, it's just gross. Yeah. So yeah, there was 21 things in the US that puzzles most foreigners. Some of the things like was common, but yeah, some of the things were really puzzling, like the pharmacy thing. Pharmacies are basically general stores, and you can find everything at pharmacy, really. And deep frying things. I remember thinking, I remember hearing about obesity issues, sure, but I don't remember hearing about heart issues and cholesterol related issues. And yet they fry everything. People eat fried things all the time in US, more than probably sugary things. So yeah, that is something. All right, if you like my reaction, please remember to like and subscribe.